So we have punches, they can happen. We have different kicks. So one more time. All right, so now we're going to use our lead leg side kick to help us really maintain distance and to close distance, to keep the distance. We're just gonna use it for a lot of a distancing type thing, but also getting back to our fighting stance really quickly so that we can throw whatever afterwards. So the first one that we're gonna do is going to be where I don't want to give up any distance. So why might I not want to give up distance? Well, maybe my back is semi-close to the wall. If I'm here, well, I can't go back too much further. I can go back 18 inches. Not that much. So I don't have much space to go back, so I can't really move back. So that might be one reason why. Another, maybe I just don't want to be the person that's running away while doing this. So what it's going to be is, at first, I'm just going to demonstrate it here. I'm just going to raise my front leg up and side kick. Now what I don't want to happen is I don't want my hips to come over my base leg so that my torso is past my base leg. If I do this, I raise up here and my opponent's coming in here, well, I just went through that wall. So I need my leg, my base leg, to be kind of like a wedge. It's going to be orientated towards my opponent. If it's pointed straight up, my base leg, I'm going to go backwards. That's just how it's going to happen. So I need it to be orientated, angled up towards my opponent. As I raise up, I'm keeping this angle here so that I'm automatically falling. If I'm not falling here, then I'm going to be moving backwards. So I need to have that falling feeling as I do this so that I know that I'm going to go back to my spot. So whenever I have an opponent, so start back a little bit further. So we're going to start, this is where most fights are at for the longest time until you actually close, is at this distance where neither one of us can hit each other. So that means something has to happen. He's got to come in or I've got to come in. So this time he's going to come in. I'm going to kick for the stop. I'm going to drop it back down. And then I want to get back to my fighting stance so that I can quickly throw a barrage of punches. Again, I should be falling forward with this. So my opponent comes in, kick. I'm using that to stuff his forward momentum. Now, if he's a really big guy, you know, say he's got an extra 100 pounds here, chances are I'm going to end up moving back. So when he kicks me or comes at me, boom, I might still move back. If you are the much littler person, it is possible that you're just going to be thrown back even when you have that good positioning with your legs. So just be aware that that is going to be a possibility. And now we need to also be able to bounce backwards if something like that does happen. So one more time, he's going to come in, he's going to be strong. As I go here, boom, I need to be able to catch my balance again in order to be able to fight. So that's going to lead into our next one. So say now we know that we're not going to be able to stop our opponent completely. Our opponent's bigger than us. So Instructor Rico here is going to show this one. As I move in, he's actually going to prepare to move back. So that time, he didn't stay in the same spot, touch me, and then move back. He actually moved back and then came with a good side kick to stop me. So the impact was there right when I took that space. So as I come in, boom, and he gets that nice side kick there. So it's more of a power on that. He maintained that distance with that hop back. Here, boom. Now if you notice, when he's hopping back, he's already starting to raise this front leg up so that it can kick me. So he's not just doing a hop step back, both legs are on the ground, and then doing the kick that I just showed. He's doing something slightly different. He's raising that front leg up as he moves back. So one more time, as I move in, as he moves back, that front leg raised, boom, and then he drops it down in front, and he comes back with his flurry of punches or kicks or whatever it is that he's going to be doing. Remember, we're using this to maintain the distance. This is going to be more of a free sparring type thing. It's not going to be so much Taekwondo. So we have punches. They can happen. We have different kicks. So one more time, as I move in, he moves back, he gets ready, boom. He kicks that, and then he follows up with whatever he sees fit for that situation. So that's our second variation of using our lead leg side kick. Now our third one is going to be with a hop step or kind of a cut kick type motion whenever we're doing this. So this one, again, I'm at this double distance. Now I'm the aggressor. I want to close in. Maybe they've been moving around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise my leg up as I hop forward. Now, one thing that a lot of people tend to do with this is they step here and then they kick. What that's going to do is and there's nothing wrong with that when you're first learning, but what that's going to do is it's going to show my opponent that I'm about to kick with my front leg. Whenever you see somebody, especially if you know that they have kicks, if their back leg comes up to their front leg's going to raise up. That's very common, especially when they're at this distance. If I was at this distance and my back leg came here, you wouldn't be as worried. We're at kind of a triple distance. But when we're here, I can almost reach him. I want to raise that leg as I hop, compared to back leg comes up and then kick that front one. See how I moved out of the way? That's what's going to happen is they're going to be able to read it. Even if they are not trained, they're going to be able to read it a little bit easier. So we don't want to give them any sort of telegraphs like that. So I'm here. I'm going to raise this leg up as I hop, drop it back down, and be able to follow up with whatever my punching or kicking, or maybe I grab him a knee, whatever you want to do afterwards. We're just practicing closing the distance. So we're here, kick, drop it down. Again, I'm falling down with that leg forward after this. And this is going to be a very applicable type thing for any scenario. A great example for this is Royce Gracie, you know, the guy that won the first 3 UFCs. He used to use this all the time to close the distance. And what he would do, he would come here and he would shoot in. And he would go, he'd get the takedown. You know, he's a jiu-jitsu guy. But he used a lot of lead leg side kicks in order to close and maintain the distance. So even if you're not a Taekwondo guy per se, you can use this in order to keep that distance. So one more time, I'm going to show it here. My back leg, or my front leg, is going to raise up at the same time my back leg raises up. I kick, and now I'm being nice to my partner here. But whenever you're actually doing a kick like this, remember, the power gets applied prior to contact making. So I'm not going to put my foot on him and then put the power. That's a push. We're closing the distance, so we don't want him moving back. We want to hurt him as we come in. So kind of keep that in mind when I'm doing this. I don't want to put my foot here and then push. Now I have to close the distance again. Not what I want. I actually am going to apply the power here and then impact with my heel with power. From the second I make contact, there's power into it already. So I want you to kind of keep that in mind. So we're going to do a few back and forth. I'm going to show one, and then we're going to follow up. So I'm here. Boom. Follow up with whatever it is that you want. My partner's going to go. Boom. I'm going to go. Boom. And my partner's going to go. So now you see how I wasn't ever pushed back at that point. Obviously, we're not kicking each other hard, but the goal is not to do a push kick with this. We're trying to keep them at the same distance as we close in. So we close that distance and follow up with whatever we see fit.